When you're laying out piping, it's pretty easy to fall into the trap of seeing pipes as just static, fixed lines on a drawing. But in the real world, well, they're not static at all.
The truth is, piping is dynamic. It moves. It's simple physics. You heat up steel, it grows. You cool it down, it shrinks. And this is an absolutely unstoppable force. So if you design a piping system with the assumption that it's going to stay exactly where you modeled it, I can guarantee that design will fail. The forces we're talking about are massive. I mean, truly massive. Enough to push a 50-ton vessel right off its foundation.
So, in this explainer, we're going to start with the basic physics of thermal expansion. From there, we'll dive into why a straight line, something that seems so efficient, can be incredibly dangerous in piping design. And finally, we'll look at how we can use some pretty simple geometry to solve this problem and keep our entire system safe.
All right, let's start with section 1. What exactly is thermal expansion? We need to understand the physical forces that are at work in your design.
It all happens at the atomic level. As the temperature of a material goes up, its atoms start to vibrate more and more vigorously. They need more room to move around. Now, on a microscopic scale, this effect seems tiny, but our piping systems aren't microscopic. They can be hundreds of meters long.
Let's put a number to it. For a typical carbon steel, the expansion rate is roughly 1.2 millimeters per meter for every 100 degrees Celsius rise in temperature. Now, I know what you're thinking, 1.2 millimeters. That doesn't sound like much, but trust me, over very long distances, this tiny number adds up in a big way. For example, let's take a main steam header, a pretty common thing to see running down a pipe rack. Let's say it's 500 meters long and operating at 300 degrees Celsius. Well, that pipe is going to grow by nearly 2 meters. 2 meters! So the critical question you have to ask yourself as a designer is this. Where does that extra 2 meters of solid steel go? Because it has to go somewhere. And this really gets to a fundamental shift in mindset that has to happen. You have to stop seeing the pipe as just another rigid structural member. You need to start seeing it as a living thing, something that breathes and stretches. Whether it's a hot line that's growing or a cryogenic line that's shrinking, your job isn't just about managing flow. It's about managing movement. This brings us directly to one of the most common and dangerous mistakes a junior designer can make, routing in a straight line. You know, in geometry, it's the most efficient path between 2 points, but in hot piping, it's a huge risk. Let me be perfectly clear about this because it's that important. A straight line in hot piping is a loaded gun. It's bottling up all that potential energy from the expansion, and it concentrates all of that force in an incredibly destructive way. Just picture it. You've got a pump at one end of a unit and a vessel at the other. The shortest, most direct route is, of course, a straight pipe connecting them. Okay, so now let's heat that pipe up. It immediately tries to expand, right? But it can't. It's being held tight at both ends. The pump nozzle is one anchor and the vessel nozzle is the other. Since the pipe can't grow lengthwise, all that energy turns inward and the pipe compresses, generating what we call axial stress. That force just builds and builds until something has to give. And I'll tell you right now, the pipe almost always wins this fight. This force, what we call nozzle load, gets transferred directly to the equipment. It'll push the pump out of alignment, it'll destroy its bearings, it might even crack the shell of the vessel. Your number one job in layout is to keep these nozzle loads low. A straight route like this, it transfers 100% of that thermal force right to your equipment. So if we can't stop the pipe from expanding, what do? Well, we have to accommodate it. We have to give it a way to move. And that brings us to our third section, solving this problem with layout flexibility. The way we handle all this growth is by building flexibility right into the system. And for piping, flexibility is all about geometry. By intentionally routing the pipe on a longer path, not the most direct one, we actually convert that dangerous, direct axial push into a much more manageable bending force. We allow the pipe to flex. Here's a great analogy. Think about a simple paperclip. Now, try to compress it lengthwise. You can't, right? It's incredibly stiff. It just resists that force directly. That's your straight pipe. But you can very easily bend the wire of that same paperclip. And that's the principle we're using here. We want our pipe to act just like this, to bend and flex, but well within its elastic limit, of course. So here's how it works. When we add an elbow and a perpendicular leg of pipe, the main run expands and pushes against that elbow. The elbow redirects that force 90 degrees, which then causes the perpendicular leg to bend just a little bit, absorbing the push. It acts like a spring.
This is exactly why you see those big, U-shaped expansion loops on long pipe racks. They're just giant, carefully engineered springs.
So what happens if a designer ignores all this and just routes a stiff system anyway? Well, the consequences are severe, and they usually show up immediately, right during the plant's initial startup.
First, you get equipment failure. The stress engineer will flat out reject your design because the nozzle load is, say, 5 times higher than what's allowed. Second, support failure. The pipe moves and literally slides right off its support shoe. Third, hard clashes. The pipe expands and smashes into a steel column that looked perfectly clear in the 3D model. And fourth, flange leakage. The high bending stress actually pries the flange faces apart, breaking the seal. And let me tell you, a leaking hot oil line is a massive fire hazard.
Okay, let's wrap this up with a few key principles of what I'd call stress-aware design.
First, just accept it. Physics dictates growth. Remember, long pipe runs expand by meters, not millimeters. Second, straight lines are dangerous. They transfer all of that thermal force directly to your equipment nozzles. Third, geometry is your friend. Use it to provide flexibility. L shapes, Z shapes, and U loops turn the pipe itself into a spring. And finally, you absolutely must design for movement. Leave space for the pipe to grow and flex. If you ignore this, it will fail. So we've established that the pipe needs to move. It wants to move. But we can't just let it move around randomly. We have to control and direct that movement precisely. And that is where hardware like anchors, guides, and supports come into the picture. And we'll cover exactly how those work in the next explainer.